What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Welcome out, everyone, all of you great decoders around the world, both male and female, wherever you may be. My name is Logan, and this, of course, is Decode Your Reality, and this is going to be another episode of Scripted Reality. This is going to be part 3. This is a series that I have now, breaking down people, places, and things. It's kind of just like, another version of Decode Your Reality, but scripted. Like, if you're here, you've probably watched my previous 3 episodes. And I showed, Martin Luther King. I showed Jeffrey Dahmer. I showed Scripted Reality as a whole. This is going to be an extension of the very first one that I did, which is the 0, Scripted Reality Decoded. But I wanted to go really deeper with this. Scripted Reality Part 3. So as I say, put on a pair of headphones, get strapped in, get settled in. This is going to be, there'll be pieces of the very first one that I did in here, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper with this to show you how we live in a predestined script called life. And you're not in control of it. I'm not in control of it. Do we have free will? Well, maybe. I'm not opposed to it. I think we have a little bit of free will. But we don't have the free will that you think you have. Like, your life is not your own. That's my truth. That's my opinion. I can't prove that, but you can't prove that you're in control of your life. So we'll have a stalemate at that. But I'm going to show you through this methodology right here. Those of you that are new, welcome out. I would imagine everybody here is a returning viewer of my last 3, but these are the methods that I use, some of them. And these are the methods I'm going to be using during this presentation. Numerology. This is in no particular order, by the way. The science of numbers and language. Breaking down language through numerology. The letter has a number. And we bring the letters into the numbers. Now we get into mathematics. And then mathematics paves the way for prime numbers. Huge. And then prime numbers pave the way for the string of pi. We live out pi. What is pi? It's our emotional responses and reactions to what's going on in this reality. And then, of course, it comes from, I feel, the golden ratio, which is tied to the sun. Golden, obviously, it's a dead giveaway. These numbers go hand in hand, 3.14, 1.61, 4.75. And then we get into some mystical art platforms and the cards of illumination. What are the cards of illumination? Just another name for the 52 cards in a deck of cards that people play gin rummy and fish and spades and hearts and blackjack and poker, and 52 cards matching the 52 weeks, 4 suits, 4 seasons, 13 cards per suit, 13 weeks per season. Very, very accurate in describing the nature of this reality, all part of the predestined script. And then the cards of illumination pave the way for the tarot. The tarot provides the pictures. Beyond the numbers and the suits that the cards of illumination provide, the tarot provides the pictures and the symbols. And we think in pictures. That's how valuable the tarot is. And they're going to have their say in how this reality is scripted. And then certainly, last but not least, alchemy. The elements on the periodic table. What do they have to do with our reality? How can they be scripted into this reality? Well, a lot of these alchemical elements, if you just go to the periodic table right here, a lot of these elements are embedded in our DNA. They're embedded in our bodies. Our bodies are requiring some of these elements. We breathe these elements in. These provide massive clues to how this reality works. So all of these layers right here, I'm going to blend together like putting a puzzle together, and you're going to see how they just perfectly, seamlessly blend together without any effort. And then you got to do the interpretation. So let's get started with this scripted reality part 3. So again, this is not anything new. I've shown this in my other ones. Scripted reality being the 40s, that infamous, notorious 40 7. And, if you separate the numbers, 4 and 7, and then you bring it into the chakras, it's going to be the heart and the crown. Really, really important to look at that. The colors green and violet. Very, very important. So this scripted reality can be tied to mathematics. And 47 is not just any number, it's the 15th prime number. And then we bring alchemy in this to get the bridge, to give us another clue, to go deeper into this scripted reality. The 15th element is called phosphorus. Phosphorus is tied to Lucifer, the light bringer. Tied to Jesus, the light of the world. Somehow, some way, they're entangled together. So is Lucifer running this scripted reality? Is it in control of this movie that we're all playing out, this theater that we're all playing out? Well, let's keep going and find out. So we go a little bit further with more numerology, and you'll notice that this word right here that the Greeks came up with, the writers of the New Testament, the Israelite God of the Holy Bible, the tetra, meaning 4, grammaton, 47. I mean, even Washington, D.C. and White House, those are all 47. What do you think's running Washington, D.C.? It ain't man. It ain't the Freemasons. They are being used. They are being used. There are no exceptions in this scripted reality. Tetragrammaton's 47. So is the Lightbringer Lucifer, is it just the tetragrammaton? I mean, there's a connecting point here that's undeniable. Even when you say 4-7, it's 47, which, 23 is tied to crown, 24 is tied to the X chromosomes that we have, the crown and the X chromosomes. It's really interesting. 24 hours in a day, 24 hours in military time. It's bottomless. It just keeps going. Now we go right back into alchemy again, and we get this element right here called silver. Silver, and the most abundant atomic mass for this is 107. So we go to numberempire.com, and you can notice that 107 is the 28th prime number. 28th prime number. And the 28 is tied to, once again, Lucifer. It just goes back to that. Now, some people are like, I'm not glorifying any of these energies or entities or names and titles. I'm just showing you it's part of the script. I didn't write it. I'm just decoding it and showing you. So silver is tied to Lucifer, tetragrammaton is tied to scripted reality, and the 15 being the 47 being the 15th prime number is tied to phosphorus, which is tied to Lucifer. So you can see how tightly woven this is, which leads to the ancient Israelite God of the Bible and Lucifer. So is Lucifer just the God of the Bible? It's beginning to look like that, ladies and gentlemen. Through the 300 and plus videos that I have and counting, it's beginning to look like that. What about this element silver? When you say it through numerology, it's a 20, which is a match to the word duality. That's what we're all playing out, duality. Duality. I mean, the word duality rhymes with reality because it has this L-I-T-Y on the back end of it. And if you just use the I-T-Y and put a C in front of it, you get city. City, reality, duality, all tied together in this matrix that we live out, or life that we live out. Matrix 17, life 17, gold 17, fish 17. So silver represents duality, and keep in mind, if you know your elements, this element is the most electrical element on the entire periodic table. So think about what I'm showing you here. We live in a magnetic and electric universe. Electromagnetic. So this is one half of it. The other one would be holmium, the most magnetic element, but we're talking about the most electrical element tied to scripted reality. We have a circulatory system in our bodies, otherwise known as electricity, folks. So we're electrical beings, and we're tied to this silver element. I mean, the Vatican flag's got the gold and silver keys on it. Pretty dead giveaway there. Pretty dead giveaway right there. And then we bring in the cards of illumination. And this is kind of, why I'm this. Thank you, Tiffany. Someone I had done a reading for. She's like, Tiffany had said one day, she goes, Logan, when I was doing a reading for Tiffany, she goes, Logan, I feel like you're the tour guide. And it stuck. And now I use this. So I give thanks to Tiffany for that. But I feel like that's exactly what I am. I was I incarnated to show all of you how this reality works. Like I bring you to the amusement park and I say, here are all the rides of this reality. I'm not going to tell you which ones to get on, but here they all are. And you decide if there is such a thing. Because this right here is my birth card. This is what I was born with. This is the code I was given, which is why I have created a channel called Decode Your Reality, and I do readings and et cetera, et cetera. It was part of my destiny, part of my script. This being the 47th card paved the way for the tarot card right here, bam, which is the Eight of Swords, card 58, card 57 or 58, depending on if you use the Fool as 0 and 22. And this card right here, straight up, is trapped and limited. What would it be tied to when we're talking about scripted reality? Well, trapped and limited, because if you're in a predestined script, you're trapped and you're limited. You can't really do that much. That's why I say you don't have as much free will as you think you do. Not at least not from my calculations and research. And this is just my opinion. I can't prove it, but you can't prove that you have 100% free will. So we got to be at a stalemate. But this says otherwise. This says you don't really have what you think you have. And, being the trapped and limited card in the 58, what is that tied to? Well, when you take the two cards, that are my birth cards, tied to scripted reality, and you say these through numerology, 8 of Spades is 57, 8 of Swords is 58. So they're running simultaneously. So I decided to take that and we're going to bring it into mathematics and we're going to bring it into the string of the golden ratio. And what compound number, meaning more than one, sits on the 57 and 58th digits? Well, it's the number 54. Now, if you count the 1.3, it's going to be the 35 tied to the simulation. Just depends. I mean, these numbers all bleed, they encroach. But it's this 54. And this is really, really big, ladies and gentlemen, here. So what's the 54? So is the 54 running the 8 of Spades and the 8 of Swords, which is tied to the scripted reality, which is tied to the Tetragrammaton, which is tied to Phosphorus, Silver, and Lucifer? It seems like they're all in bed together, like closely linked right here, using this methodology. Well, it's linked. Now we go back into alchemy again, and the 54 that occupies digits 57 and 58 in the golden ratio, tied to, trapped and limited, is this element called Xenon. And Xenon is the stranger. If you go look at it on the Royal Society of Chemistry, it does a great job at providing the clues. It does a great job at providing the clues. If you go there and you take a look at that right here, Xenon, all you got to do is look at the clues. You see it has the flash of creation. Well, look what it says. The name is derived from the Greek xenos, meaning stranger. I mean, if you look at the melting points, 111, you get a lot of clues. 1.61 Kelvin, that's the golden ratio. That's what we're measuring here. The golden ratio, Kelvin, the sun. 1.61 is the melting point. Melting point meaning that it's a transmutation from one to another, from spirit into matter. That's what I think this and correlate this to, for sure. And it's Xenon, the X being the 24th letter. And this 131 being the most abundant weight, what has that got to say in the whole scheme of things? We bring Pink Floyd into this. I decoded this song called Brain Damage on another decode. I just forgot which one it was. But man, I broke down all the song and the line by line of the song itself and the lyrics. It was undeniable that the people that Roger Waters and whoever wrote the song Brain Damage on Dark Side of the Moon, they were being used to write it. Their mind's not their own. And this is what Roger Waters wrote in one of the pieces of the lyrics on Brain Damage. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. And it's 131. And there's the 131 in Xenon, and you just go right back to this right here, and it's stranger. What's the stranger? Well, it's the little voice in your head. That's what it is. That's what runs this reality. It may give you a little bit of leniency, but when it wants to get something done according to the script, it will deliver itself to your voice in your head, and you will play tribute to that. And it's very complex. But this is all telling the story of how this reality works right here. So we just keep going, and, if you... Pink Floyd, what about that? I mean, pink is a match to the word light. 23's match is the Royal Star of the Lion. It's tied to the word crown. So it's the light crown, but this right here is the original spelling of Lucifer. It's hell, Hyll. People will pronounce it Hallel, but there it is. It's the 39, matched to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. This right here is all telling us that it's tied to the Lightbringer. And what is the Lightbringer tied to? The golden ratio. What is the golden ratio tied to? The sun. The sun. So it's, and you look at all the religions, not all of them, but the majority of them, especially Christianity, sun worship. Sun worship. And people say, oh, it's Jesus. Okay, well, maybe Jesus is Lucifer and they're one and the same. They're one and the same. We can't leave that out. We have to take that as a possibility. Can't say it's an absolute fact. And these are just ideas through allegorical representations through ancient texts. And then you get into, the other religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, and you get Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. It's all a big Ponzi scheme, in my opinion. But nonetheless, what about the 54 and saying the word phosphorus? We talked about how it's tied to the 47 and the 15th prime number. Phosphorus is a 54. 54. I mean, again, it's right there, tied to my birth card, the Trapped in Limited card, the 8 of Spades, the 8 of Swords, right there. It's the 54. So is Xenon attached to phosphorus? Well, this says it is. And right here is the total breakdown of the golden ratio and the 57, if this is 59 digits, including the 1. So these numbers bleed, 57, 58, 59. But you should know what this 59 is. It's tied to the game of life. The game of life is 59. 59 letters total for this whole string of digits where the 54 appears, including the 1 point of the golden ratio. And what about this 283, the total digits added up? Well, it's tied to Prometheus. You see, here's the 1.61. Now, this is really important. The string of the golden ratio, there's that 54 marker. 57 and 58 digits. Total addition, all these digits up is 283. And look at what prime number it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 61st prime number. And we go right back to alchemy again. From mathematics, we get into this element called Prometheum, which is Prometheus, the Greek Titan, who stole fire, which was knowledge and wisdom, and gave it to the humans. Who does that sound like? Well, this is my absolute now, folks. Prometheus is Lucifer. Lucifer is Prometheus. Is Jesus Prometheus? Because if I go back up here, Prometheum is the 61st element. And if I go to numerology, and I type in the word Jesus, it's an 18. If I type in the word Christ, it's an 18. And then I take this 18 and I bring it into numberempire.com. I type in 61, which is the protons of Prometheum, and look at what prime number it is. It's the 18th prime number. 61 is the 18th prime number. So we have a match to the Christ, we have a match to Jesus, we have a match to Lucifer. There is no doubt about it. So is Jesus and Lucifer one and the same, or are they just the yin-yang of the sun itself? Maybe. But you can see they're directly connected. And there's a heck of a lot of organizations on the world stage that push the Jesus character, that defend it, that will kill for it. Think about that. There are organizations that will actually kill people for the name of Jesus. They kill people for it. That should tell you. Use your thinking cap now. That should tell you what's going on with that name. And is it really what we think it is? But you can see that Prometheus in the Greek, the original spelling of it is 48. 223 is the 48th prime number, and Lucifer in the primes is the 223. Which is, if you put it in a mirror, it's going to be 322. There's your skull and bones. Undeniable. You mirror these numbers. I love mirroring stuff. Getting more and more into that through my decoding research. This is undeniable. And remember, 322 divided by 2 is 1.61, 161. This is the golden ratio twice. Right here, 322. Guarantee you that's part of what Skull... I have a decode coming out on Skull and Bones. I'm going to show you how this organization completely being used. It's not to say anything bad about them, but no one gets a hall pass in this scripted reality. Everybody's just doing their part, playing out their script, living out their screenplay. This is absolute now, folks. Right here. Absolute part of this scripted reality. So what about when we say Prometheus and the primes? We did it through the Greek. Here it is through the primes. We bring it into the golden ratio. Prometheus was the titan who stole fire. That's gold. 454. Look at where it appears, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, are you kidding me? The 283rd decimal digit. And you go right back to Prometheum. You see? So Prometheum, through this methodology, is Lucifer. And so the big question is Jesus Prometheum? Because of this right here, 61 being the 18th prime number, and Christ being 18, and Jesus being 18. Well, it's certainly looking that way through this methodology. So we go back to this phosphorus, 54. And phosphorus is the 15th element on the periodic table. And then when we look at the weight of phosphorus, it's 30. This is going to be isotope 31. That's why these numbers encroach. So 30 and 31, 61. So Prometheus is tied to phosphorus. Lucifer is tied to Prometheus. Lucifer is tied to phosphorus. Phosphorus is the light bringer. Prometheum is the titan who stole fire. That's light. Wisdom. Wisdom is contained in light. It's where everything comes from. The source is light. And then 30 is tied to what the Gnostics call the demiurge, the one that runs this reality. And then scripted. So is the demiurge scripting this reality? Well, according to this methodology, it is. Make no mistake about it. So here's kind of, the connecting points once again. We've already shown this, but phosphorus, the light bringer, and the 47 being the 15th prime, and 47 is scripted reality. 47 is Tetragrammaton. 47 is Washington, D.C. 47 is White House. 47 is Georgetown, the university in Washington, D.C. All 47s. Square and compass is 47. It's a great architect in the universe. So how about when we do phosphorus through the original Greek spelling now? I like to always go back to the original language that these words come from, if at all possible, and break them down through the numerology. And it's 163. 163. I mean, the Society of Jesus, the way they use Jesus is IESU, and through Hebrew, it's going to be 316. It's a permutation of this number. Okay? But this 163 is really important because, bam, there it is. It's the 38th prime number. And that's why I got the actor and actress with the stage here, because you could see that actor and actress, which is what we all are. You're either an actor or actress, male or female. It's the 38. And I mean, if you just go further with this, 17 is the letter pi in the Greek. And then phi is the 21. Pi and phi. The actor and actress. That's what we're playing out. Being used on the world stage as an actor or actress with your screenplay. What's your screenplay? Well, you got to find that and discover that by decoding yourself. Astrology, numerology, human design, personality types, Enneagram. All these great layers, your cards, your tarot cards, your numbers, you can decode everything about your life. So many things. And you want to do that to figure out exactly what your script is, your screenplay. But this is saying that phosphorus is running the actor and actress on the world stage again. So phosphorus tied to Lucifer, Lucifer tied to Prometheus, Prometheus tied to Jesus. It's just all funny. And even when you say actor and actress in the primes, you're going to get the 470. I mean, it's there. The zero, you don't have to drop the zero. You can see the 47's in there, expressing itself. How important the primes have been with this decode of Prometheus and Lucifer. 47. Again, 47. It's really interesting with all this methodology going on here. So going back to the tarot card that kind of started this whole thing off, I've shown this so many times, but it's kind of becoming like a broken record. But there it is, the puppet master, the marionettist, tied to my birth card. That's why I feel like I incarnated to show all of you this. Doesn't mean it's just me, man. I'm just a tour guide. That's it. You got to make the truth your own. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, great. Then go make your truth. Go tell the world what your truth is. I'm just showing you the amusement park. That's where we're all playing out. And, this element is so big right here, that this element cobalt, because, 27, nickel's got the 58 as well. 27 and 28. 28 going back to Lucifer again. But cobalt's very, very special because it's tied to the word heaven. Because heaven is 27, cobalt is 27. So is there such a thing? Well, it would be tied to the sun. I think heaven, Eden. Check out my Eden's Recycled Garden. Eden, according to the methodology that I've been using, Eden is the sun. So heaven is 27. When you go to numerology and you type in the word heaven, there it is. It's 27. So there's the protons of that, and cobalt is the chaos and order element. It comes from the word kobold right here. K-O-B-A-L-D. And that's the 19, and the 19th card in the tarot is the sun card. So heaven is the sun. The sun is heaven. Cobalt is 20. Duality is 20. Silver is 20. You see? And the puppet master runs it. And we're trapped and limited down here when you become a human being. And you get stuck inside of an avatar. You just got to make the best of it, folks. Have fun with this life. It's amazing, life is. You just got to have fun with it. So is there really a way out of this scripted reality? Well, check out my Prison Planet series, 1, 2, and 3. I feel like being lukewarm is the way out. What is lukewarm? Slightly alkaline. What is lukewarm? The middle. Not being a judger. Standing in the very middle, realizing that there is a dark force and a light force, and they're clashing together, the hot and cold, and it wants you to play. But if you're in that space right now where you're like, you know what, I don't want to play anymore. Well, this is how we got in. See, the middle path, not the right-hand path or the left-hand path. I don't feel those are the ways to win this game. I feel like it's the middle path. Neutrality. Not judging. Just observing. Not partaking in the game of the Matrix. The middle path. And, it's tied to the word enter. See, we enter the game. We enter the game. It's called the world. This is the world card, the 21st card in the deck. And if you watched my Puppet Master Decoded, I showed how this X right here makes what a marionettist holds to run the puppet. All symbolism here. And that big O in the middle with the androgynous figure, it's spirit coming down to play the game, going down through the portal. This is going to be the astrological signs. These are going to be the 4 fixed signs of astrology according to this card right here. These are heavily influenced by Jewish mysticism, by the way. But 21 being the middle path. We enter, we exit the same way. You got to exit the devil, you got to exit light. But is the portal the same way in and out? The middle path. You come in naked, that's the middle path. When you come into this world, it's the middle path. You're not programmed when you first come in as a baby. So the middle path is the naked path. That's why this character right here is naked. That's how we have to leave, naked. You got to strip all beliefs away. You got to strip away all judgments, and you got to get rid of all resentment and everything that weighs us down to this earth, and realize that you're living in an illusion. all designed to keep you busy and have fun. But when you're probably ready to get out of this game, you go out the same way you came in, naked. And that's the true essence of nirvana. The true essence of nirvana is being completely naked. Being completely naked. So you could see that, the word script is 21. So we enter the game called life, which is the representation of this card right here, the world. And we end up now playing out our screenplay, our script. Just like an actor or actress has to read their lines. Well, you don't have to do that, but the voice in your head is downloading your screenplay. And that's your script. And the more and more you get in tune with it, I feel like the better experience you're going to have. That's the name of the game. Remembering who you are. Remembering who you are. So we have this scripted reality. We break apart these words, scripted being 30, reality being 17. And let's start off with this scripted. What also lines up with this scripted and the 30? Well, these right here, the words role play. We're being role played. That's how I feel. We're being role played. It's theater down here. And the Gnostics called it the demiurge, running this reality, controlling the role play, micromanaging us. And, the new age name of the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh right there, Jehovah. Which I know it well. I was raised in an organization when I grew up as a kid. From a very young age. So I know it was part of my script. Again, just following my patterns. And what about this reality being the 17? Well, it's tied to these words right here. All in the same cipher, folks. You know how I roll now, I hope. Matrix 17, gold 17, life 17, the word tomb. Womb to tomb, the word tomb equals 17. And the 17 is the star card. We're all stars down here in the scripted reality. It's exactly how this works. And this is kind of, to finalize this presentation, and scripted being 30, this is why I feel the God, you want to call it God, Lord, whatever you want to call it, that created this reality, this is the stand-up comedy. It's a stand-up comedian. It's everything. It's a stand-up comedian. It loves to be funny. And it has to be through what I'm about to show you. This is like, I don't know how, it's just funny, folks. So zinc is the 30th element. And right here's the picture the Royal Society of Chemistry uses for this element, and here's the explanation for it. It says, an alchemical symbol for zinc is against an abstract background inspired by zinc roofing materials. The roof. Well, who comes up on the roof during Christmas time through that allegorical story? How about this dude right here? We live in a scripted reality, and Santa Claus is right up there, scripted with it, just like us. So think about what I'm showing you here. Here's the stand-up comedy. Because if you think man purposely did this to try to mock you or screw you over or try to get one past you, come on, folks. Think about this. I mean, did the Royal Society of Chemistry know Santa Claus is 30? Did they know that reality is scripted with this? Maybe, but did they know Santa Claus is 30? And then is that the reason why they put this picture right here to represent zinc, an abstract background inspired by zinc roofing materials, and Santa Claus is on the roof? I mean, come on. You can't get any more funny than this, if you ask me. I mean, this 30 is really big. Jesus of Nazareth. Nazareth is 30. Zero Dark 30, that movie. You start looking at that 30, you're going to start seeing it quite a bit in your life. So to finalize this, a few more slides, ladies and gentlemen. Scripted reality being the 47. Where does the 47 appear in the golden ratio? It occupies digits 102 and 103. And it ties to this element right here called rhodium. Rhodium comes from the Greek word rhodon. Rhodon is 30, tied to scripted. But it's the 45th element, 45 protons, and then you get into this word right here called mind control. So when people say, oh, it's MK Ultra, and those people are being used that are doing the MK Ultra. There are no hall passes. It's all just fractals down and down and down the line. Like a pyramid. That's what it is. That's what it is. And then when you add up the 102 and 103, you're going to get 205. And the 205 is found in this element called lead. So how about that? And what is lead? It's Saturn. It's tied to the ring maker. People get married to put the ring on the finger. What do you think you're doing? You have a contract with Saturn. That's what marriage is. Make no mistake about it. You put the ring on the finger, that is a contract with Saturn. That's why when you get married, you got to get a license because the state wants their money, but the reason why they do it is because the state is ruled by Saturn. So that's why judges wear black. So when you partake in all these things with the state and the government, also, it's all ruled by the planet Saturn, which is, Santa Claus and Satan, the Grim Reaper. And this is what we're all become when we come down here in this scripted reality. We're all lead, and it's lead to gold. We're being used for the transmutation of our energy from lead to gold. Check out my lead to gold decoded. And you'll see a lot of nuggets in there. A lot. So ladies and gentlemen, bam! What is it you saw during this presentation of Scripted Reality Part 3? I really appreciate each and every one of you for showing up, your continued support, all of you Patreons and people that have sent donations. I greatly appreciate you sending a ton of love to you, man. I honestly, man, you make my day. And a lot of you great decoders, a lot of you are embedded in these decodes. So a big shout out to all of you great decoders around the world. Because a lot of you share your mind and I see things and it sparks things. And that's what we're all doing. I had this kind of funny joke. We're all decoding ourselves home. That's what we're doing. We all want to go home. Whether that's getting out of this reality or we're all decoding ourselves to go home. That's what we're doing. We're all putting a puzzle together. We all have a hand in it, in the decoding world. So keep your comments coming. Keep your comments coming. I just got back to the U.S. Just got back to Mexico. Back in paradise. My monthly October calendar is open. Those of you that are interested in readings. I do have a few readings I'm going to be doing this month. I'm jacked. I'm excited. I'm working on my course. That's going to be coming. I'm just got a lot of great stuff coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to continue to put out some heavy material. Got a lot of great decodes coming out there. But again, we'd love to hear what you saw during this presentation. Keep your comments cordial. If you don't agree, cool. Just keep it cordial. It's all good. I don't need to defend my research. You don't need to defend yours as well. Just put what you want to put. That's all cool. Just be cool with it. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality and Scripted Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.